So how much bigger is the Model Y storage space than the Model 3? Today, that's exactly what we're going to find out. David here from What Drives You, and today we're doing another comparison video between the Model 3 and Model Y. Today we're just going to be taking the measurements of all the dimensions I can think of in each vehicle for the storage space. Don't forget to subscribe for future comparison videos where we will actually be looking at what fits in the Model Y versus the Model 3 as far as luggage and that sort of thing, and maybe some interesting items to see how they fit. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button. It helps others find this content and really helps grow the channel. I would really appreciate it. So how much room is there in the trunk of the Model Y as compared to the Model 3? Hopefully it's a lot bigger, but we're going to see exactly the dimensions. Today we're going to be going over the actual dimensions of the space, and then in another video we will do an actual real world test of what fits in that space. So let's check it out. Okay, so we're starting off with the Model Y. We're going to check the size of the opening. Going to be using a laser pointer for most of this, hopefully, to get the numbers. But if that doesn't work out for some of the measurements, I'll use a tape measure. The opening of the Model Y, 3 foot 3 inches. If we go up to the widest point here, 3 foot 7 inches here. Going to go ahead and take out the trunk mat on both vehicles, just so that doesn't get in the way of any of the measurements, and of course to get easy access to the underfloor storage. Alright, so with the width of the opening of the Model 3 here, at the smallest point here, just under 3 foot 3 inches, and at the widest point, 3 foot 6 inches. So the width of the opening for the two vehicles is very similar. Alright, so for the loading height of the Model 3 here, we're going to go right from the top. The maximum height for loading something into the Model 3 is 1.5 feet. Here we are on the Model Y, and obviously you have a lot of space to actually put something in the trunk. If you had a rather large item and you didn't need to close the trunk, then I guess you could go all the way from the top. And the opening at that point is almost 4 feet. Of course, that height is only going to do any use if you do not have to close the trunk. So maybe you want to sit in the back of the trunk and watch a movie in the drive-in. That might be a use case for that. Or if you just need to haul something down the street real quick, obviously that space could come in handy. Closing it, we're going to say we have two different openings from here to there. So that's about where the top of the trunk lid is going to go. And then also, if you're going to put it into the car, from there and there. So if you fold the seats down, you can slide an item. How big can the item be from there to there? Alright, so for the first measurement, 1 foot 10 inches. If we go here, the height to the ceiling here to the load floor, 2 foot 3 inches. And actually, in a pinch, an advantage you have on the Model Y here is this underfloor storage from right here. Depending on what kind of item you have, there's 2 foot 8 inches. So with the width of the Model Y at the base, right at the wheel well, 3 feet 1 inch. The width for the Model 3 at the wheel well, 3 foot 1 inch. Wheel well to wheel well is about the same width, but in the Model 3, of course, it tapers off. So here at the top, 2 feet 10 inches, whereas in the Model Y, 3 feet 5 inches. Alright, so how much space is there from the rear of the storage to the front in the Model Y? From where it will close, you have 3 feet 6 inches. In the Model 3, very close. Alright, so what about the underfloor storage in the Model 3? Pretty nice size there. 2 feet 2 inches wide, 1 foot 5 inches long, right at 1 foot deep. Here we are in the Model Y. Tasmanian floor mat here for the Model Y, which I did not get in the Model 3. So width-wise, 2 feet 7 inches, 1 foot 5 inches long. Even with the floor mat or trunk mat in there, it is 1 foot 2 inches, so a little bit deeper. And of course in the Model Y you get this whole space that doesn't even exist in the Model 3. So all of this space, likely where that third row seat, is all going to mount in. So you get 6 inches of depth and 2 feet 7 inches wide, just like the other one. It does taper out a little bit like that, and there's also this bump there, so you lose a little bit of that space. Here's the Model Y, maximum storage there. Both of the underfloor storage compartments open. Lots of extra room there. And there's also a deep space. Oh, it's dirty down there. I gotta clean that out. But there's a deep space here in the Model Y on both sides, 10 inches deep. Alright, so it goes from 10 inches to a foot. And here's the Model 3 maximum storage with the underfloor storage divider removed. But in the Model 3 here, we do have a little spot here on the left, which is 7 inches wide, 8 inches maybe at the maximum, only about 6 inches deep. So definitely a smaller compartment there on the side, and it's only on one side on the Model 3. There's nothing over there. And of course, one of the great features on the Model Y here is we can just pull the seats down. Don't forget to check for any drinks that are potentially in the cup holder in the center console. So here we are. What is the maximum length here to the seat back? It is 6 feet 4 inches, 5 foot 5 inches from the end of this black material here, which is kind of what you'd be expected to rest something on, to the back of the car. And in the Model 3, have to manually drop those seats down. So in this one, I think I can actually measure from the back here, 5 foot 6. If we just go to the back seat, it is 6 feet 1 inch, but of course that would be different based on the seat position. That's why I didn't really like that measurement as much. So really in both cars, the same length there, basically from the top of the seat, the back seat here, to the end of the trunk is 5.5 feet. Very close to 9 feet here to the screen, so you can get your 8 foot 2x4s right down the center pass through. Works perfectly to get those in there. So if you need to, from the front glass here, which you really don't want something right up against the glass, but if you run the glass all the way back into that back corner there, 10 foot 7 inches. So you can get a 2x4 that's 10 foot long at that angle, but you got to be really careful, obviously, with the front glass here. And you'll probably want to put something to protect the seat here, and probably lean this front seat as far back as it will go to put that 2x4. But in a pinch, you can do something that's long. In the Model 3, we don't have that center pass through, unfortunately. So you have to drop either, well, to get something up the middle, you really need to drop the 60 part of the 60-40 split. But from the back here all the way up to the screen, you're looking at 8 foot 10 inches. Really close to that 9 feet. Kind of just depends on how snug you get it up against this area here. So very similar, maybe an inch difference between the Model Y and the Model 3. So again, here in the Model 3, from the glass back to that corner, 10 foot 6 inches. The seat's down. Obviously it's a lot harder to get things in here, but there is the same amount of length if you have something that's not too tall to slide in there. And with Model Y, super easy to slide it in. But again, this length here from the top of the back seat to here is the same in both cars. It's just much more accessible in the Model Y. All right, here is the frunk for the Model Y versus the frunk or front trunk of the Model 3. Starting with the Model Y, we're gonna go with this lip there, 2 feet 11 at the widest, and then it narrows down here, 2 foot 3 inches. 1 foot 5 inches. Depth at the back here, 1 foot 1 inch, and at the front here, 10 inches. For the Model 3, at the widest point, 2 foot 10 inches. Definitely seems to curve a little bit differently. 2 foot 2 inches, 1 foot 5 inches on the Model 3 here, and the depth here, 10 inches in the Model 3. At the highest, 8 inches at the shallowest. It's about 3 inches deeper in the Model Y, but the other dimensions are very similar, if not exactly the same. So like I said, today we're just doing the quick measurements on the trunk and front trunk of both the Model 3 and the Model Y to do a little comparison. So we'll be coming out with another video that actually has different things fitting in those spaces to see how easy it is to put things in one versus the other. There are a few things that I definitely see could be a little bit easier to put in the Model Y than the Model 3, so that's going to be the big difference, as well as there is definitely a lot of extra storage space in the Model Y, especially when you account for the depth of the trunk area and those 2 extra side pockets. They add a lot, and the extra rear storage, under storage, that is huge as well. So there's a lot of extra room there that helps with putting things in there, and they're a lot easier to get in and out, so that's obviously an advantage. So we're going to check that out in the next video, so don't forget to subscribe. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.